It's Mighty Moo, and his mission is to teach you about God's love. All right, I'm going to start off with an experiment. So here I have a glass of water and an egg. And my question to you is, will the egg float or sink? So let's find out. Oh, it looks like the egg sinks. All right, so now I have a glass with salt water. This has salt in it. And so my question to you is, what do you think will happen? Will the egg float or sink? Let's find out. Ooh, it floats. It's almost as if the salt is a helper. All right, now today's story is from Matthew. Now it's a continuation of last week. Jesus feeds the 5,000. And if you remember, there were 5 loaves of bread, there were 2 fish, and Jesus performed a miracle and was able to feed 5,000 people plus have leftovers. So after this event was over, Jesus tells his disciples to go and stay on the other side of the lake, take the boat, go to the other side of the lake. As everyone's leaving, once they leave, I'm going up to the mountain to pray. All right, so I'm going to read the story. And after he had dismissed the crowds, he went up the mountain by himself to pray. When evening came, he was there alone. But by this time, the boat, battered by the waves, was far from the land, for the wind was against them. So the disciples are in the boat, and there is a huge storm. And early in the morning, he came walking toward them on the sea. But when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified, saying, "It's a ghost!" And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them and said, "Take heart, it is I, do not be afraid." Peter answered him, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." So Peter got out of the boat and started walking on the water and came toward Jesus. But when he noticed the strong wind, he became frightened and began to sink. So basically, Peter took his eyes off of Jesus and thought more about his fear than his trust in Jesus. So let's see what happens next. Peter cries out, "Lord, save me." Jesus immediately reached out his hand and caught him, saying to him, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" When they got into the boat, the wind stopped. And those in the boat worshiped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." All right, another great story from the Bible. Now I want you to think about your storms. What are some of the things that scare you or make you afraid? Maybe the fear of someone getting sick right now, or maybe your neighbor's dog. What about spiders? The dark, and maybe snakes, that's mine. Moo, what are you afraid of? Oh, he's afraid I might forget to feed him one day. That would be scary. So, see, we all have fears. All right, so I have one more experiment for you. This time, I'm going to take some water. And you'll have to get a little closer for this. So if we are scared, do you think we would sink or float? Oh, we would definitely sink. Now let's say we have a helper, someone who can help us. That would be Jesus. Let's see what would happen. So here we have Jesus helping us. Oh, and then we float. We can feel his peace and everything feels great. Then when we take our eyes off of God, this soap will be our fear. And get real close, because look what happens next. When we take our focus away from Jesus, we think more about our fear than our trust in Jesus, and then we sink. But guess what? Guess what? With Jesus, there are do-overs all the time. We always get a second chance. So if we're scared, remember, we can always pray. God will hold us and protect us. And if we start to think more about our fear than about our trust in God, We might sink or feel scared, but remember, Jesus is our helper. Just like the paper clip right here, or the salt that helps keep the egg floating. Jesus is our helper, and he is right here with us. We just need to trust him. All right, so that's all we have time for today. So why don't we fold our hands, bow our heads, and you can repeat after me. Dear Jesus, thank you for loving us so much and always being here to protect us when we are scared. Amen. All right, so remember, God loves you today, tomorrow, and every day. Bye.